special announcement. Special programming announcement. Do you know what it is?
I think so.
I am going to be on WICC in Connecticut this Saturday from 10 to noon, right? Did I say?
You didn't tell me, so I don't know.
I think 10 to noon or noon to 2, but I think, hold on. He told me, here we go. 10 to 12, 10 to noon this Saturday. And that is WICC in Connecticut.
What number is that on the
600
radio
AM
dial?
and 95.9 FM.
Oh,
nice
your triumphant
FM.
return to FM.
That's right. I look forward to it very, very much. And if you're somebody who enjoyed me and WTIC, please enjoy
or
this.
WTKK.
And WTKK, exactly. Nice
Or in
booming
Ham.
FM signal. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And
There's probably like some people under 65 who know how to find that on the radio.
there will be some people, absolutely. Attitudinal lady. But it is...
In fairness, I did not listen. I did not use any AM
so,
until I met you.
yeah. No. And I listened to WICC only on online. So I checked in today. Well, no, actually checked in today because I connected with the Comrex machine we have here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I listened to the programming. It's a nice, big, booming station. So I dig that. Had a fun Shattuck show today with Dan Moresi.
That's nice.
He was good. He's always good. He's good in odd. He's an interesting mixture of young Jordan Peterson devotee / barstool guy. So he's like interesting, and he's just the right amount of feral to be good too.
So Mark in the chat is asking if this is a regular gig for you.
No.
It is not. It's more of like a fill-in Popeye gig.
It is.
At the
They
moment.
called up and they asked, the program director said, hey, would you be around to be in the stable? It's what you would do if somebody leaves the market. You say, okay, good. Here's somebody who people know. And so if somebody to like fill in for something, I don't assume that I'll be going back to terrestrial talk radio. It's possible. It's possible. Who knows? But that's what this is.
You're not turning down gigs.
Yeah. Like how could I turn something down? There's like Alice and I. So I'll see you guys. That's Saturday, 10 to noon, on WICC, AM 600 and 95.9 FM. I do need to. I don't know what the clock is like or anything other than mechanics. So at WTIC, I really made my own.
Trisha's asking, what app do you listen on?
It's a good question, actually. Let's see. They'd be happy you're asking this question. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, these are the types of questions they want. They want the listeners asking.
So fmradiofree.com, or it's on Google Play, or in the App Store. Google W. It's W.
Let me see if I can get a link for people. In
Voice
the chat.
of Connecticut Live. Out of Bridgeport. And yeah, Alice knows stuff. So it's interesting today. Just the mechanics of the thing. I hooked up with Comrex, and the way theirs works, their remote connection works. It's very interesting. On the left-hand side, Alice, my left ear gets programming. So my left ear, I'll hear the commercials and intro music and all that other stuff. In the right ear, I hear the producer talk down to me, and I think they feed the phone call through the right ear. So I've never had that split up.
Whoops.
There we go.
I don't see a thing to download the link.
Did I ever tell you, before we get going here, now that New Mexico, by the way, is having, maybe we've been talking about that, New Mexico is having all sorts of, I should mention, since I'm on unemployment now, yes, I did apply for radio jobs today.
Oh, nice.
Around Greater New England area, and I applied for a bunch of jobs at Harvard University as well. We'll see. Fingers crossed, Alice. Fingers crossed.
Well, all these universities will take your kids like for free.
I won't be hired.
I applied for a university job a year or two ago, and it was too big a pay cut for me. But one of the reasons I was interested in it was if you work there 3 years, you can send all your kids for free.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, no, I am required by unemployment to apply for these jobs. So I've applied for some jobs.
Excellent.
I'm also, there's a bar opening up down the street now. Somehow this place is opening up.
Mm-hmm. That's a good topic for the food show. We should save the discussion of the epic saga of that place.
Yes, but I thought that would be kind of interesting. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question? What's the proper way to ask somebody if they'll pay you under the table? What's the way to do that so you don't seem shady? Because
tell them you're an illegal.
Yeah, I guess so. I would that would be a very interesting little thing. So that's what's going on. So I'll see you guys in Connecticut on Saturday. Now, did I ever tell you about this is an amazing part of my life that just got jarred today out of nowhere.
Okay.
Did I ever tell you about my time with Marsha Lewinsky?
Marsha Lewinsky?
Marsha Lewinsky.
No.
During the Monica Lewinsky scandal, I was then tied to Marsha Lewinsky.
Who's Marsha Lewinsky?
She was...
Any relation?
I worked at the... No. It was bizarre. I worked at the Parker House Hotel, and she was a guest. I was a front desk guy, and she was... I didn't hook up with her. She was probably in her 60s back then. But she was a very difficult guest. And she had a problem with everybody, and she was like, I think, a big corporate lawyer out of New York. Had a problem with everybody at the place. Started having like mental health problems, and decided that she could only deal with me. Nobody else, not the front desk.
Why would you be the person?
I don't know.
Why would you, of all the people who work in the hotel, you seem like you'd be one of the least amenable people.
What she got some signal
to being a pain in the butt. You generally don't tolerate a lot of.
Well, no,
crazy behavior.
And I wouldn't either. Oh, that was a little before I got jaded. After I had it. But she was.
Tommy in the chat says, "Oh no, plane taking off, concierge airlines."
How dare you? So anyway, she would have raised hell with the director of operations, with the what do they call the guy who runs the hotel? I guess it's director of operations.
General manager.
Well, the general manager he's the big boss, but she would. And anyway, she was a real problem with a bunch of people, and but she made corporate nervous. She would always want room changes, demand this, pan this, and say this was terrible. Always had all sorts of problems. Wouldn't want to talk to that person, demanded to only work through me. And she started to have some episodes, psychological episodes. So it was a dangerous mix. It was, this woman was having a little bit off, but powerful enough, and a lawyer and documenting stuff that she was giving the hotel fits. So, and she would only talk to me. She only wanted to deal with me. So the hotel managed a negotiation with her, and any of you guys who worked at Parker House, you know exactly who I'm talking about. The hotel managed a negotiation with her that she wouldn't. This is amazing, Allison. This happened, and it just kicked into me today that it happened. This is happening during the Lewinsky scandal. Well, she wouldn't.
Julie and Phil want to know if you still have her blemished dress.
Oh, good. That's not even. No, I had such a good. I had such a good visual of women going into this show too. That is no. She was not. No, I had a nice visual of
Jewel State
and Jewel Kilcher and Alice Shattuck, all snaggletooth ladies who I find very attractive. No, this woman kind of looked like, and I hope she'll sue us if she hears this, but and it's all over. We can't. She just gets everything. Well, she just might just demand me. So she looks like the Tony Soprano's sister. If Tony Soprano's sister was 30 years older, it's not great. But anyway, so the hotel was so nervous about her and so whatever that they needed to send her away. They wanted corporate legal didn't want her staying at the hotel anymore. She was a risk. So the hotel made a provision for her to stay somewhere else.
Can you raise that camera up a little bit, please?
The one up there? We don't have a stick. that good?
I'm sure it's gone now. It's fine.
Okay, so they didn't want her back at the hotel. The hotel made a provision for her to stay at other hotels. So they would take the responsibility of setting her up at whether it was the Holiday Inn or the Lenox in the Back Bay or wherever they put her. Marsha Lewinsky would be set up by the hotel. But a provision of this was that she would get to have lunch with me.
What?
It was bizarre, dude. So
they were like prostituting you out.
Yes, and then she would give me cash. It was the weirdest thing. So they were sending me around Boston, so once a week or so for this year.
How is this a real thing?
I would go with Marsha Lewinsky and just talk about whatever, politics or things happening, whatever.
What were her politics?
Her politics were just bizarre. I know this one's a liar. This one's going to jail. This one does this. This one does it. She was dishing left and right. I wouldn't be shocked if she was like very familiar with Donald Trump. So anyway, and that was my thing. So I ate at the Back Bay, I ate at this place, I ate at this place. So it was just remarkable, like that I was used as this odd pawn to just negotiate to be the person. Like in this settlement, she gets a room and me for lunch. But I got lunch, and sometimes money. And so I was like, this is all right. This is great. Marsha Lewinsky.
Wow, you're a hooker, actually.
Yeah, I guess so.
You were trafficked.
Yeah.
Tommy in New Hampshire wants to know how you're going to tie this to Pam Bondi.
Well, I can tie it to Pam Bondi.
Well, like I say, you were trafficked.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with Pam Bondi? Oh, Epstein. Yeah. Oh, no, apparently I was more trafficked than anything Jeffrey Epstein did. Because today we found out that today was a no bueno day for the Department of Justice people, and Trump is all in with these people now. I was talking to the boys in the group chat.
I have a question. Yeah. So as a counterpoint, right? And I hadn't really considered this because in my world of like people that I'm listening to, everyone's freaking out about the Epstein stuff, and obviously I am because I've followed all this stuff, but David Marcus on Twitter?
Yes.
He was basically saying, I've traveled all around the country and I've talked to like a gazillion voters and not one person has brought up Epstein. Like the only person that I've ever heard mention Epstein is like big into right-wing podcasts. This is not a thing for like the average American voter. I think that like Trump's instincts are right on. That no one cares about this, that they just want the economy to be good and there not to be wars and like the world to be normal. So I don't know. And that was reality shifting for me because I hadn't thought about it like that necessarily because it's a big deal to everyone I talk to. So it hadn't occurred to me. And I do think it's a big deal that like powerful people are just allowed to do whatever they want and it doesn't seem to matter. But I guess, I guess my question is like the subset of people for whom this matters, are they a normal subset of people or are they like the weird fringy people?
I think some people are ticked off. I think
a lot of people are ticked off. The people that are in the world that I talk to, but do you think like a Pennsylvania swing voter is ticked off right now?
I don't think it's a deal ender for Trump. No, but I definitely think that these people who came out here with this performance, like Pam Bondi and the other, the radio guy and whatever, saying that they were going to be...
So, the chat, Dr. Cheswick says, Tom, now tell us about Brad Obama. No relation. And Tim again wants to know if you talk to mailboxes.
I talk to what?
Mailboxes.
Oh, mailboxes?
Tim and Kent wants to know if you talk to mailboxes.
That is incorrect. But that is a true story, an odd story. So yeah, no, I think that this Trump thing wouldn't be a thing. Like we would never have talked about it, about Epstein. Like if they even came up with a list of the it would be fairly interesting. It's not. I was never
Well,
obsessed with.
why don't you let people hear for themselves? Why don't you play that press whatever they had today with her and him and her answer about why she said the list was on her desk and then when he said the whole thing.
Sure.
Your memo and release yesterday with Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of his death?
Yeah, sure. Could I just interrupt? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems
that's a classic, by the way,
like a
Trump
desecration.
pairing of
But
two
you go ahead.
unrelated things.
Oh, totally.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also to the tens of thousands.
All things we know nothing new about.
Yeah, it's very also this weird defensiveness. Like Trump's response is better in that sense because he's just like, why are we still talking about this?
Mm-hmm.
Her response where it's like, no, what I meant was, and actually, what was on my desk was like, that's a little bit.
Well, yeah, you guys all had this project where we were going to find out there would be an unmasking of all this stuff. And, I mean, you never had to do it. You never had to even say it. You could have said that, everything's been deleted. But you pulled this crap, and you got people invested in it. And, there's a lot of this is about them not being like Trump was going to be the disruptor who doesn't play dirty DC swamp stuff, who's showing us what really goes on. And suddenly he's the latest gatekeeper on stuff that for some reason we can't know.
Well, yeah, and to claim that you've never heard the thing that he's an intelligence asset, often in these theories, he's a foreign intelligence asset, sometimes an Israeli one. Like, I don't know. There are all kinds of theories about this, but to claim you've never heard that when you're Pam Bondi and like Kash Patel is there and Dan Bongino is there, like these are people that are swimming in the same podcast sea as the rest of us who have heard these things before.
Yes.
Can't be like, oh, I've never heard of that. An intelligence asset, blackmailing powerful people. That's crazy. I've never heard something like that before. Like, okay, that's just
you
like
all
made
and
up.
Happy all got together and you were telling us something was going on. And you also told us that heads were going to roll and heads didn't roll. And this is like looking like a fraudulent front, which, by the way, bothers me not at all. I would rather have, I just think it's okay, that's fraudulent. That's fine. I mean, I have low expectations. But
yeah, low
what I don't
expectations
have,
for anyone in government.
Sure. What I don't, like, I just want you to kill NPR and PBS's funding. Just do that for me now. And apparently we killed Planned Parenthood's funding until the president of the United Courts of Appeals decided that Congress couldn't kill funding for Planned Parenthood.
I can't imagine how that decision's going to hold up. I was like reading into that.
Right.
It's an absolutely egregious decision. Planned Parenthood is not entitled to federal funding.
That's the problem.
That's
sure as hell think that
insane.
it's women's health care. It's family planning care.
That's an insane assertion. Why would Planned Parenthood be entitled to federal funding?
Why would all these ingrates be entitled to federal funding?
And this was passed by Congress. This isn't an issue of like presidential powers or something.
Right. This is Congress actually doing its job.
I know, this is like a judge saying, no, sorry.
Yeah.
Like, excuse me? How is that? Oh, I read a bunch about that. It's just unbelievable.
Yes.
I can't imagine the decision's going to stand. And someone was saying they think that I think it might have been, who was it, Mike Lee? I think it might have been Mike Lee that I was reading that was saying they think they're going to impeach this judge because it's just like too egregious.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. By the way, we talked about the flood. Get ready for the New Mexico flood staff cuts that Trump did. Trump has killed more people now.
Thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were.
Wait a second, they were child porn downloaded by him? Like, nobody wants to see that. If there's porn taken on Epstein's property, we want to know who the guys were doing the raping. For frig's sake.
Yeah.
Nothing?
No.
So, okay, so he's not the biggest okay, so it's just amazing.
Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being
Dead herring, like nobody asked to see this.
Nobody wants to see the child porn.
agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
Is that a thing? As somebody who deals with like surveillance cameras, tell me, is this true that it's an old system, so they're just missing a minute every day? And if that's true, how come we never heard that explanation before until today?
Right.
Did you ever hear that explanation before?
No.
This is not, I was not even like that suspicious of all this until she started talking, and now I'm like, what the hell? Is everything a lie?
No, and the whole thing about it missing a minute is, what we need to be doing is to make sure that we have a video camera that doesn't miss any of the minutes. Because in those minutes, things can happen.
It's just 1 minute a day, every day. What are the chances?
So it's time for the switchover. We're doing the switchover right now. We're also going for a smoke break, and the internal camera doesn't work. See you later. Jesus. Yeah, it is.
Also,
like,
if you're Jeffrey Epstein, why do you want to kill yourself in the only minute when the camera's not working?
Yeah.
Are you worried it'll be incriminating? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. But like I say, I wasn't even that suspicious of it until she started talking today, and I was like,
now I care. Now I care. Okay, so you guys have this little line project going. Like, what is it? If you guys are just like, I mean, when you hire people who want to be stars and want to be, LARPing superheroes, then you're gonna get some wackos. And I don't know. Like, being around Trump does something to people. They get wildly loyal to him, which I think is probably a good thing. And some people just seem to go insane. And like it's
well, do you remember Sidney Powell? You don't see her much around anymore.
Yeah, but isn't she like disbarred or something?
I think so. But like, I mean, you could still give her like a job in the administration. She made an absolute fool out of herself, supposedly, for Trump, right?
Right.
Even Rudy Giuliani like totally disgraced himself during all that. That was crazy.
It's a tough time for Rudy. It's not been a tough time for J.D. Vance, actually. He gave a great talk on the road here. This is him talking about your buddy, the next mayor of New York.
Now, I may not speak for many of you, but I was once comforted by these contradictions within the modern left. How could privileged whites march around with a straight face decrying white privilege? How could progressives pretend to love conservative Muslims despite those Muslims' views on gender and sexuality? But the answer is obvious if you think about it. And it's a very, very dangerous and very sad answer. The radicals of the far left, they don't need a unifying ideology of what they're for because they know very well what they're against. What unites Islamists, gender studies majors, socially liberal white urbanites, and big pharma lobbyists? It isn't the ideas of Thomas Jefferson or even of Karl Marx. It's hatred. They hate the people in this room. They hate the President of the United States. And most of all, they hate the people who voted for that President of the United States in the last election in November. This is the animating principle of the American far left. Now, to be clear, it isn't true of most of the people who vote for Democrats. Most of the people who vote for Democrats, they're good people struggling to get by, even if we think that they're misguided in their political judgment. But pay close attention to what the leadership of this movement says outside of the glossy campaign ads and outside of the general election tested messaging themes, and it's obvious what animates the leadership of the modern Democratic Party. The far left doesn't care that BLM, the Black Lives Matter movement, led to a spike in violent crime in urban black neighborhoods, and it did, because that same movement also led to anarchy in middle-class white neighborhoods. They do not care that Islamism hates gays and subjugates women, because for now, it's a useful tool of death against Americans. And they don't care that too many pharma companies are getting rich from experimental hormonal therapies, because in the process, they're destroying the so-called gender binary that has structured social relations between the sexes for the whole of Western civilization. And they certainly don't care that deporting low-wage immigrants will raise the wages of the native-born, because they don't mean to create higher living standards for those who are born and raised here, whether they're black, white, or any other skin color. They mean to replace those people with people who will listen to their increasingly bizarre ethnic and religious appeals. They are arsonists, and they will make common cause with anyone willing to light the match. And that's why Mamdani himself is such an appealing instrument to the left. He captures so many of the movement's apparent contradictions in a single human being.
Obviously, they got to keep that going. You got to cast this guy and them as unacceptable for prime time.
And he is the gift that keeps on giving. I mean, like, liberals are nuts, so he could absolutely get elected. But I'm starting to think that maybe he's too insane even for New York right now, and that Eric Adams will get reelected just by chilling out and not making any big waves for a little while, because he is nonstop excitement. This guy. Can you find the clip I sent you of his intern yelling at somebody at the cops, saying getting their badge numbers and whatever? But yeah, like, so not only did he claim to be black while trying to get into college, because
this is a while ago, right?
His identity is really complex. Yeah, but did you know that was his intern?
No.
So that was just revealed to be his intern, I believe.
Where am I seeing this?
Back in the news. It's in. I don't know. It's in the stuff that I sent you.
What will it look like? I'm sorry about that.
I'll resend it. I was trying to read something else while you found it, so that there wouldn't be a pause in the show. But I
don't know what it is.
Okay.
I've got it, by the way. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
We need the badges of the pigs. We need the badges of the pigs. So to the Rahmans and the Mohammeds. To the Rahmans and the Mohammeds. To the Alis and the Abdullahs. To the
It's a pretty accent, by the way. I just want to put that in the record.
To the Rafids. To the Rafids. To the Rafids. To the Rafids. To the pigs. To the pigs. Who can call themselves by the name of Islam. Who can call themselves by the name of Islam. To the Mohammeds. To the Mohammeds. Put some respect on that name.
Oh,
So this person apparently has been one of his interns. Like, his stuff just goes on and on. Like, obviously his parents are like full on wealthy communists. He pretended to be black while applying to colleges so that it would, and for him to imply, he went to friggin' private schools his entire life. He went to $66,000 kindergarten. You think he's going to claim his identity was too complex? He's just a poor kid from Africa. He didn't understand the identity box. You think kids going to elite private high schools do not understand the implications of checking the Asian, including South Asian box versus checking the Black or African American box?
Yeah.
When they're applying to colleges, you think they're not aware of that? People were aware of that when I was in high school and college. He absolutely knew exactly what he was doing when he did that. And he didn't get into Dartmouth, but he got into somewhere, and he says he did all his applications the same way. Like, it's absolutely a huge lie, and it's pathetic that he did it. He's no more Black or African American than Elon Musk is.
Well, right.
And that's pathetic. There's also this great piece. He went to Bowdoin College. Did you see his piece from Bowdoin College that he wrote in their newspaper 11 years ago?
Oh, it's about the incel stuff, about none of the chicks will like him?
No.
He did write something about that. None of the girls will like him, and it was very incelly.
I didn't see that one. This is from him at Bowdoin in 2014. I've been forced to personally grapple with these inconsistencies during my time here. I sit in class not knowing whether to correct everyone's mispronunciation of an Indian woman's name. I usually do, but today I'm tired. I'm tired of being one of a few...
That I'm tired thing? Oh, that is low
I'm
lefty.
tired of being one of a few non-white students in a classroom, if not the only one. No one made you go to Bowdoin. Like, there's a lot less white colleges if you wanted to go. If not the only one. I bring up race in discussions only to see the thought flicker in my peers' eyes and on their tongues.
Bowdoin didn't come capture you.
You don't have to be there.
Inserted yourself into these places and hated the country and decided to change them all and be a communist. Maybe the fact is you're a communist little a-hole, a rich prick. Maybe that's maybe it's your personality, Zorhan.
They sigh without a sound. I've brought up race again. I've sidetracked the discussion. I've chosen to make an issue out of it. I grow a beard only to be called a terrorist.
Oh.
I pronounce the H in my name only to hear muffled laughs. Clothing becomes exotic once it clads my body.
He pronounces the H?
Like Zohran.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Ugh.
Clothing becomes exotic once it clads my body. Cotton shirts.
You know what? I've also got an H, and I don't require people to use it, okay? It just sits there, silent, okay? It's silenced. It's been disappeared.
Cotton shirts are called dashikis and sandals ethnic. While I'm now comfortable in my own skin, I can remember wishing for whiteness my first year when I thought certain types of girls were impossible to talk to due to my skin being more kiwi than peach. Months later, I remember thinking that attraction might only be possible when a girl had a thing for brown guys.
What a little bitch this guy is.
You're a hyper-wealthy guy who could pass for Italian in a second. Like, what is the point of this? Like, what? As though there's some kind of racism in elite college dating in 2014 in America. Do you think that that's true?
No, I think nobody gives a frig. I think that people probably thought he was an a-hole. You know, the chicks when I was 21 also found reasons not to hook up with me. Zorhan, okay? They found reasons too, and I am I don't have peach color, whatever they said.
Kiwi colored.
Yeah, and I wasn't a kiwi colored skin guy, okay? Oh my God, I didn't know that there was all this stuff. There were reasons for things.
But has anybody ever been less likable in the world?
No, and now you have Eric Adams trying to copy this guy's videos. Have you seen him?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's terrible. He's like, this is my routine. When he wakes up in the morning and he's like, he makes a fruit smoothie and he's like 8 a.m. and the clock says 11:30 behind him. It's like, okay, stop it, guys. Don't be Bush, be Nirvana. And if you're not Nirvana, be somebody else. Alice, bad news for you. This is your buddy, Sean Gunn, who I'd never heard of, who made the new Superman movie, which I didn't know was coming out. And I would rather be sexually assaulted by a rhinoceros than ever see that movie ever.
It is exactly what the movie is about, I think, that we support our people, we love our immigrants. Yes, Superman is an immigrant, and yes, the people that we support in this country are immigrants, and if you don't like that, then you're not American. People who
I think Sean Gunn is the brother of the director. I think he's directed by James Gunn.
I don't know any of them. So either way, I don't know that Superman is an immigrant. I think that
he's an alien.
Yeah, he's an alien life form.
Obviously, Republican compared immigrants to alien life forms from another planet. That they would never hear the end of it.
Right, but he's not. Okay. First of all, he doesn't exist. And Dresden or Galslow, whatever, played by Marlon Brando, also doesn't exist. And his parents were killed, I think, and none of it exists. None of it matters. The three people in the rings in Superman 2, those are also immigrants. Like, none of it matters. But the scandal. So I would never see this piece of shit. I mean, sorry, this movie anyway, ever. So I don't care. It's not my thing at all, and I hope it does terribly, and I hope everybody's heartbroken about it. And if you want to do Snow White like that, with it like horribly, she's supposed to be pretty, right? Is that okay?
She's supposed to be the most beautiful girl in the world, so much that it makes Gal Gadot jealous.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah, and if you're doing like this, it's about it. It's good that this guy is not the director because that's just not great. But who cares?
The director also
I hated
said
Superman
that Superman's
when
an immigrant.
Christopher Reeve played him anyway. It was that whole just nuke the earth. I freaking Putin, please, just freaking finish us. But that brings us to a certain boyfriend of Alice Shattuck.
Oh, Nathan Fillion.
Yep.
Well, he showed what you're looking for when you want to hire an actor for your movie is just shut up and don't make political statements.
On Alice's freebie list, which I put up on Twitter, you can see her freebie list, part of it, has betrayed this country.
Oh, James has said that Superman is an immigrant story, that it is political. MAGA today was getting a little upset that he called Superman an immigrant. I wanted to get your reaction.
Somebody needs a hug. It's just a movie, guys. It's just a movie.
Oh.
Sackless answer by Nathan Fillion. Oh, my God.
But you're trying to promote a movie. You're not trying to change the world.
Well, but how come it's that side that needs the hug?
I don't know that he said somebody needs a hug. He didn't say that. It was MAGA.
Sackless. Take him off your freebie list.
No.
He's off.
I like him. He's Canadian, so he's pathetic anyway, but...
Oh, ridiculous.
But the left is like getting increasingly unhinged about this immigration stuff. They've started like attacking ICE agents seriously, not just like trying to block them and stuff, but they've like shown up places with guns. The U.S. Border Patrol had a thing where 3 subjects attempted to impede and obstruct our efforts using improvised devices aimed at disabling our vehicles, and he's showing like some thing with like nails in it to try and like stop the vehicles, like a thing with nails to put on the road and that stuff. They're like full on like fighting back at ICE. And it was interesting because I was like looking at this, and one of the like quote tweets was basically saying like, obviously like we need to dial down like the violence against ICE officers and all this stuff, but you know, it would really be great if like ICE would de-escalate, because if they respond with increased militarization, it's only going to get worse and like make the problem worse. Like, no. Deporting people who are here illegally isn't escalating something.
Yeah.
It's just like...
ICE is doing their job. They don't have to de-escalate. They just have to do their jobs day to day. This is like... fuck, these people suck. That goes hand in hand with the Axios thing. Democrats told to get shot for the anti-Trump resistance. At town halls in their districts and one-on-one meetings with constituents and activists, Democratic members of Congress are facing a growing thrum of demands to break the rules, fight dirty, and not be afraid to get hurt. Those Democrats told Axios they see a growing anger among their base that has, in some cases, morphed into a disregard for American institutions, political traditions, and even the rule of law. This idea that we're going to save every norm and that we're going to not play Republicans' game, I don't think that's resonating with voters, said one House Democrat. Another told Axios that a sense of fear and despair and anger among voters puts us in a different position where we can't keep following norms of decorum. Actually spoke to two.
The problem is only their crazy voters are left.
Right. So they
all
want
the non-crazy ones have become independent.
So they want violence and weather underground and all that stuff.
Yeah, I finally found that quote again of the guy who was quote tweeting it, and he says, "I agree that armed resistance to immigration enforcement is a terrible idea, but this stuff is out of the hands of the pundits now and with the public, and DHS desperately for their own sake has got to realize that de-escalation is the only way forward. My fear is that if DHS responds with even more militarization and shows of force, it's just going to raise the volume and make the situation worse."
Right.
Like, no, they're allowed to just deport people. It's like everyone freaking out because Trump's not renewing the temporary protected status.
Yes.
For everybody who came here, 25 plus years ago, because Hondurans and Nicaraguans, they got the temporary protected status after the Hurricane Mitch in 1998. Oh my goodness. So they were allowed to come here temporarily while that got better from
right. It's dry
the hurricane in 1998.
Yeah.
Which was a while ago. And they have just kept like temporarily renewing it. Like, this is not a permanent. It was not.
Well, right.
It's embarrassing that it was never gotten rid of before.
No, the whole thing's embarrassing. Yeah, if anything, they could have just de-escalated their law breaking and overstaying their visas and overstaying their.
We're even giving them a free plane ticket and $1,000 exit bonus to help them resettle.
Right
You'd
now.
move to Honduras for $1,000 and a plane ticket.
Somebody can take my place. Yes. We have to do chat, Albie.
So 60 days, 80,000 people are going to become illegal immigrants.
Hey, Tom, this is Al in New Hampshire. Hope things are well. Hey, Tom, I was in my car today and I got excited. I heard you were going to read my tweet. And then when you read it, you mischaracterized it completely
Did I?
in a very weird voice. My point about President Trump is that he leads the justice.
Huh?
He's the unnamed location.
Oh, okay.
You read yesterday.
Just a part.
I believe this is Al who we've met.
Oh.
In Newburyport.
Really?
I think so.
He's the AG's boss. He's Patel's boss.
What did I read? I can't find this. Hold on, Al. Hold on, Al.
While you're doing that, I have to pop back and read one Tim and Canton comment in this chat that was making me laugh, but you were in the middle of playing some audio, so I couldn't interrupt. He said, Marsha Lewinsky is somewhere telling a story to her friends about how she entertained a special employee at the hotel she stayed at.
How dare you? How dare you? I'm trying to find this out. This is important. He's unnamed.
Unnamed location?
I don't see it. Oh, AJ. There it is. Okay. Trump's administration just said. Yeah. So I later looked up more of your tweets and realized that you were probably on my side. But for yesterday's thing, I did mischaracterize it because it looked like it resembled some other sentiments that I saw out there, but yours was the only example I had. So I misused you. You had to take the fall, Al. But it was the intention was right.
He is ultimately in charge.
Correct.
So this is on him. He bears some responsibility for this fiasco.
No, you're right about that. The only thing is, yes, you're right about that. So what I did is that I suggested that it was people like you saying that, now you regret it. So I attributed to you other personalities. I needed that to happen, Al.
Not that he was on the list, like I said.
Yes.
I don't believe that at all. Had he been on the list, it would have been released somewhere between jailing him and killing him.
Right.
That was my only point. And you made it sound like I'm a... And then you went for 2 minutes or 3 minutes really agreeing with me.
Yes.
That's it. Trump should fire Bondi. It's a bad
I agree
look.
with you.
She looks incompetent. She said there was a list on her desk. And then, they're saying, oh, well, no, I didn't really mean on my desk. So that's it. Anyway, still a big fan. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Al.
Tell Alice we all said hi. Bye.
Thank you, Al. Al has one of the great avatars out there. It's very satisfying. It's edifying, too, as a matter of fact. There you go, Al. So, yes, I'm sorry about that. You were misused. I needed a patsy.
Hi, Steve from Merrimack.
Hey, Steve.
Dr. Cheswick left a message yesterday about these conspiracy theories that are again popping up. No one landed on the moon. JFK bumped his head, as Dr. Cheswick said. But have you seen, there is a new theory popping around that I've never seen before, and I'm like a JFK assassination nut. People are convinced that the limo driver shot JFK in the head. And they keep showing the Zapruder film like back and forth. They say, see, you can see he's got the gun. I've watched it 100 times. I don't see how the limo driver shot the guy. If he was going to shoot JFK, why wouldn't he have shot Connolly, too? It's just, it's so silly.
Yeah, I knew.
And Tom, the fact that you didn't know Richard Harris sang MacArthur Park really floored me.
I had no
That's
idea.
like the most famous version of that song.
I had no idea.
Thank you.
I got a blind spot when it comes to that. I did know an idiot about 12 years ago who called me up or texted me about the revelation that the limo driver shot him. It's confirmed. It's like, if the limo driver shot him, why would he drive him to the hospital? Why wouldn't you go to, like, drive to Candlestick Park or something? Like, wouldn't that be the move? You don't want this guy saved. I mean,
maybe he could tell because pieces of his brain were on the back of the car. He was past saving it and wanted to have
it's a
like
bold
plausible
limo driver
deniability.
move.
Well, yeah, especially because there's a bunch of other people sitting there who have very close proximity and can see you shooting the president right in front of them. Like, I think Jackie probably would have noticed. No,
I would assume so. I don't know if there's anybody like cross-trained for those two things, but who knows?
So, yeah, no, but there is a conspiracy theory for everything. Like, the internet is big enough that you can find people who believe literally anything in the
Did I
world.
tell you about the limo driver who, his name was Ira, guy, when I was a concierge, who took me, so he decided to, there was a lot of weird people. Anyway, so.
How many years were you a concierge?
So I think 98 to 2004, whatever that is.
6 years.
I guess so.
So you worked in media.
I worked at the front desk.
You worked
because
in media
I was so bad with
like
my bank. My bank was taken away from me.
3 times as long, like 4 times as long almost as you worked in being a concierge.
That's right. That's right. So I wasn't doing enough reservations.
A bunch of people are questioning if Candlestick Park is in Dallas.
It's not. But you make a course for Candlestick Park in San Francisco. And Dallas doesn't have a baseball team, do they? No, they didn't. The Texas Rangers, did they play in? They played in Arlington, Texas, I think. So that's the whole point. This is because I'm doing top tier thinking and you guys aren't. The whole point is you set a course for San Francisco, and he absolutely can't get any medical attention. You roll up to San Francisco, then he's just simply a corpse. Nobody has to. So, and you can take in a baseball game. It's November, right? No, they're not playing anymore, right? Okay. So, so this guy took. So literally, this guy took me on a. He was upset that I wasn't giving the Italian restaurant he was working for enough reservations.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked me to step into his limo and had a talking to. And Ira wasn't a hard guy, but I think he felt that he had to be like, you say, so we're very disappointed in you, Tom. We thought we'd be seeing more from you. We saw more covers, and we get a 2 here, a deuce here, and party of 4 here. And I mean, we know you're getting a lot of business. You're sending people somewhere, Tom, and like driving around. It was my first soft Nerf Mafia exposure, like veiled threat. I liked the ride in the limo.
Tom.
Yes.
Trevor in South Carolina.
Hey, Trevor.
Hi, Trevor.
Been enjoying your podcast since Callahan went on strike. So you entered a listener while he was
thank you.
away in his negotiations.
Thanks, Trevor.
Shot of Shattuck this morning. Great episode.
Thank you. People love Morrissey. They love Dan Morrissey. He's a madman.
He's great.
Yeah, like he's the only politician I've known who's mostly in a tank top, and it's not a put on. That is like
That's how he dresses.
That's he's wearing tank top. Why would I not have tank top?
I also was setting up party tents at Taylor Rental
Woo.
up in Laconia, New Hampshire.
Here we
and
go.
The funny part about it was we actually set up in Wolfboro at Mitt Romney's, and the dude would not even look in our direction.
Oh.
And you'd go to like a double wide trailer in a trailer park, be there for 10 minutes, and dude's handing out 20s to everyone. So it is funny how like the different classes treat service workers. So that is all. Keep on keeping on. Love your shows.
Thanks, Trevor.
I am a fellow fat, so I'm in the right part of the country.
Yeah, you are.
58 seconds.
You are, man. Thank you, Trevor. Yeah, the food there is so good. Come on. But you're right about that. And even Romney here, and once again, I'm bringing it back to me. Thank you, Trevor. I'll take that right back now. Yeah, Romney visited the Parker House when he won as governor in Massachusetts, and he had a phalanx of security around him. He couldn't get near him. And they came through like the back because the loading dock, because it was like, he was Mitt Romney. He's got to protect him, whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was, and then Paul Cellucci came through and shook everybody's hand in the back of the house. Bill Clinton came in post-presidency, right after he was done being president, with the Secret Service, and plunged into the back of the house.
Oh, yeah.
Right past everybody. He went right down to where the sub-basement was, in the Parker House, where the bakery people were, where the loading dock people were, where the purchaser was, like all, like way down there, and worked all through the back of the house. That was it. Had no time. He wasn't looking for dudes in suits with name tags. He was looking for housekeepers and everything. He was like, and he left that place with every single employee loving him. It was like, some people just get it. Romney just didn't have that stuff. I don't think he was an unkind man. He was a very charitable and good man. He just doesn't have people skills.
Can't understand why lately, every time I see Trump and Bondi and now Bongino and Patel online or on TV, all I can hear in the back of my head is 18.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's an indictment. You losing Tim and Canton. He's been on board. He's been a ride or die Trump guy. Not good. Not good, LB.
Did you see that now, to provide themselves with cover, they've announced that they're investigating Brennan and Comey?
Yeah, give me a break. Shut up. Just like, give me a break. It's so frigging obvious what they're trying to do. Until there's somebody in handcuffs or somebody indicted and sitting in jail, like, to be honest, at this point, it can't be those people who do it. Why are you laughing at me, lady?
Tommy in New Hampshire says, blah, blah, concierge, 9:56. Jesus.
It is late. Freaking Alice.
It's not my fault.
These are important stories.
Good evening, Burn Barrel.
Hi.
Hey, Tommy.
I just want one person to be perp walked in this administration. Yeah. How about Mayorkas?
Yes.
Can we get that done? Please. Somebody has to wear the silver bracelets.
Yep. He absolutely lied to Congress. There's no doubt about that. Get Mayorkas. And he's good, too, because I think that he was scared to not do what he was told. Mm-hmm. He wasn't like these like sniveling, malevolent creatures like Brennan. Mayorkas was like, he didn't want to have to do it. But he did. He's a piece of crap. He should go to jail.
Hi. Steve from Merrimack.
Hey, Steve.
Epstein, he's our man. If he didn't do it, no one did.
Yep.
Is that basically what we were told?
Yes.
This is extremely distressing and depressing. And I've been reading the Wall Street Journal since I was, 20 years old. So for 36 years. And I got to tell you something. The final line of the second editorial today in the Wall Street Journal was, "Welcome to the rotten establishment, Mr. Patel and Mr. Bongino," which I think is absolutely true. The old quote, "The louder he spoke of his honor, the faster we counted our spoons."
Yep.
Every one of these people that gets into a position of power is just as rotten as the one before them, and it's depressing. Thank you. 1 minute.
Yeah, at least someone like Tom wears it openly.
Like me?
Yeah, like your corruption and your...
Well, yeah.
Like,
believe me.
you let people know they've got to hide their spoons in advance.
I want to
telegraph it.
Be more corrupt. I'm not even given the opportunity to be corrupt. Like, I'm wanting to. I used to, the first Trump administration, I thought, like, there's a chance that they would hire me to set up radio podcasts. Like, I was the perfect guy to hire at the time. And
Tim in Kansas, Tom's got a list of all the guys he randomly met up with late night that totally weren't gay.
I didn't meet. I was the middle of the day, by the way, the limo guy. But yeah. But I always assumed that if I was in the administration, that there's no way I wouldn't, like. You're throwing hot Chinese spies at me in DC bars? Yeah, obviously. There's no firewall. Yes.
Speaking of which. And we didn't really cover this, although I had sent it to us. But this guy who got by either James O'Keefe or Project Veritas. I know they're separate now, but like one of those fake sting things.
Yeah.
Where he gets invited on a date, and the guy who said they were like felt like they were shoveling gold bars off the side, trying to approve all the environmental stuff before they came in there, before Lee Zeldin came in, that guy, he had a big like piece written about him, a big profile, and I think, was it the New York Times? I forget. Somewhere might have been the Washington Post, wrote a big piece on him, like, I can't believe this happened, and like, it's been so traumatizing and all this stuff. Like, you would not be traumatized if you were leaked and became famous for leaking. And
if I made the like Old Town trolley tour as he drove past the Parker House and said, among the other people who used to work here was Malcolm X, Ho Chi Minh, and indicted and federally imprisoned former concierge Tom Shattuck, I'd be freaking thrilled.
Thank you so much, you guys. Sorry it's so late. We'll try and be better. And although, like, trust me, we're trying now.
I know.
It's just
tomorrow in early morning.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Taking the train in. And when I tried to book my home train, the one that gets in at 6:08 was already booked. So it's a 6:45 kind of night for me to come home. So
that's no bueno, because Sally's doing her thing.
Yeah, from 5 to 8.
Oh. How long does that last? Oh, shoot me. Oh. So when does miraculously a podcast happen tomorrow?
Maybe I'll bring my makeup and do my makeup on the train, and we can pop in and do it the second you bring me home, and then I don't know. That's the best I got. We'll try, guys. We'll try.
C'est la vie. Mind your own damn business.